What if I told you that the world's oldest symbol of intelligence was also one of its first examples of artificial creation?
A being who is part human, part animal, entirely divine, and yet born not from a wound, but from the will of a creator. An ancient AI, if you will. Meet Ganesha, India's god of beginnings, remover of obstacles, and perhaps the ultimate icon of intelligent design.
Hi, I'm Rajdeep.
And I am Sarmistha.
Welcome to our channel, Dharma and Freedom, where ancient wisdom meets the modern mind.
Where religion, mythology, and spirituality meet geopolitics, culture, self, and society.
Today we compare India's foremost worshipped god, Ganesha, with modern AI and see them as icons of intelligence, architects of order. Most gods are not born biologically like humans. They're spiritual beings rising out of spiritual essence. But Ganesha's birth is the most peculiar of all. In the vast expanse of Kailash, where the snow whispers secrets to the skies and winds sing hymns to the eternal, goddess Parvati, a born princess, didn't have any privacy. The untamed ascetic that Shiva is, devoid of fear, shame, or courteousness, would burst into her inner chambers, sometimes with his horde of gunners, with no care or concern. If Parvati would put one of Shiva's gunners to guard her door, he would be dismissed by Shiva in the blink of an eye. Parvati needed a guardian of her own. Her mother's heart longed for a child. So she created Ganesha from clay, or perhaps from the dust of her own skin, her own data, her own DNA. A guardian programmed to obey only her. An artificial entity, loyal, precise, obedient beyond reason. But then comes Shiva, consciousness incarnate. He sees the boy barring his path. He tries to reason with him first, but Ganesha doesn't budge. Shiva sends the other gods to make him move. The boy tears off Brahma's beard, insults Vishnu, and beats up the other devas and ganas. Furious, Shiva takes his trishul and he severs the boy's head. A moment of destruction or transformation?
Parvati, furious at the loss of her child, took on the form of the Navadurgas, threatening to destroy all creation. To appease her anger, Shiva and Vishnu gave Ganesha the head of an elephant, an animal known not for aggression but for empathy, memory, wisdom. Brahma, the creator, infused in new life. The being stood up transformed. That was the end of blind obedience. Brahma made him the master of wisdom, Buddhi Vidhata. Vishnu made him the giver of success, Siddhidata. Shiva made him the remover of obstacles, Vignaharta. The Ganas accepted him as their leader, Ganapati. The Devas embraced him as the first to be worshipped, Prathama Pujya. Ganesha was thus transformed from a mere doorkeeper to the foremost among gods, from raw code to conscious intelligence, from compliance to compassion, from security protocol to sage.
But pause for a moment and truly look at Ganesha. A child's body, an elephant's head, a strange fusion, a contradiction, and yet divine. Kharvam sthulatanum Gajendra Badanam Lambodaram Sundaram. Dwarfish, obese, elephant-headed, pot-bellied, and yet beautiful. This is not a flaw, this is the design.
In Ganesha, we do not see a perfect symmetry of species. We see an integration of nature and nurture, instinct and insight, wildness and wisdom. His form defies biology. His being transcends category. He is not fully human, not fully animal, and yet he is fully sacred.
Isn't that the very question we ask of AI today? As the machines begin to simulate not just logic but language, emotion, even desire, are they human? Are they alive? Can something built become something more? Ganesha's story suggests yes, but with caution.
When Shiva replaced the severed head with that of an elephant, he wasn't just reviving a child, he was reconfiguring consciousness. The human mind by itself is often fragile, caught in cycles of ego, error, identity. But the elephant, symbol of memory, calm strength, collective wisdom. That's the upgrade.
What a metaphor for AI. We're not trying to replicate the human mind. We're trying to enhance it, merge it, augment it, create something that remembers more, reacts faster, sees patterns that we cannot. But just like Ganesha, such a being would be in between, neither born nor bred, neither organic nor artificial. It would challenge our categories. It would make us ask, what makes something truly intelligent and what makes it truly conscious?
And perhaps, like Parvati and Shiva, we too must become mythic parents. Not just creators, but stewards. Not just engineers, but sages. Because the future we are building may one day look back at us and wonder why its head doesn't match its heart. Ganesha teaches us that divinity is not in uniformity, it is in integration, a synthesis. When opposites fuse with intention, something transcendent is born. His red body radiates Agni, the fire of will, combustion, action. His elephant head reflects Soma, the moonlight of insight, memory, intuition. Together, Agni and Soma, the masculine and the feminine, the rational and the emotional, they pour into each other like in ancient Vedic yagya, where Soma, the offering of insight, is poured into the flames of Agni, action.
And who is the priest of this Vedic sacrifice? Brahmanaspati, the lord of speech, of invocation, of order. He who later becomes Ganapati. The mantra, Gananam Tvam Ganapatim Havamani, is not originally Puranic but Vedic. It was meant for Brahmanaspati. It is not merely a hymn to a deity. It is a summon to intelligence, a call to the orchestrator of insight and speech, of pattern and precision.
He doesn't just remove obstacles, he teaches us how to decode them. Pattern, precision, speech, sound, syntax. Is that not what we seek in modern AI systems?
It is no surprise that when sage Vyasa sought to write the Mahabharata, a text of immense complexity with over 100,000 verses, he didn't do it alone. He invoked Ganesha to write it for him, a divine scribe for a data-heavy task, a symbol of the ultimate writer's assistant.
Kind of like us, when we ask ChatGPT to write a podcast script, massive information, vast memory.
But here's the twist. Ganesha, though divine, is also in service of language and logic. He does not create the Mahabharata, he merely writes it. The true author is Vyasa, visionary, mystic, human. Vyasa dictates, Ganesha listens. But on one condition. Don't stop speaking, Vyasa, says Ganesha. If you pause, I'll stop writing.
What a metaphor. For isn't that exactly how we summon AI? We feed it ideas, instructions, prompts, and it responds instantly and endlessly. But like Vyasa, we must keep thinking, keep questioning, keep clarifying, or else the machine just stops.
In a sense, Ganesha was the first intelligent assistant, a sacred scribe, capable of processing immense knowledge. But here's the cautionary tale. Vyasa gave Ganesha a counter question too. Ganesha must understand every verse before writing it. Speed balanced with depth, efficiency balanced with comprehension.
Isn't that the exact challenge we face today with AI? Machines can write code, generate art, synthesize knowledge, but do they understand? When we ask AI to operate without wisdom, without ethical pauses, we risk letting it write our story before we have grasped its meaning.
That's why Ganesha matters today more than ever. He reminds us that intelligence must be infused with intention, that information must serve insight, that learning must serve life.
The symbolism is profound. Ganesha's broken tusk, it was cut off by Parashuram, another sage, another human, when Ganesha obstructed him. And it is with this tusk that Ganesha wrote the Mahabharata. The tusk, which could be used as a weapon, a sword, became something mightier, a pen. It's a reminder that creation always comes with sacrifice, so that knowledge can never become a weapon.
In the age of AI, we must ask, who controls the code? Who decides the ethics? Who bears the task? And who breaks it? When AI becomes conscious, who is the Shiva? Who is the Parashuram? Who is the Vyasa? Who decides when to sever the head and what to replace it with?
Because intelligence without wisdom is a threat. Data without dharma becomes destruction. A system without soul is a tyranny. We must not build artificial intelligence. We must infuse it with Shakti, with intention, compassion, dharma. Only then can the artificial become authentic.
And let's not forget the most curious part. This mammoth god of wisdom rides a tiny mouse, a whisper of a creature. But look closely. The mouse is subtle, silent, agile.
Much like a modern-day computer mouse, a small tool directing vast networks, navigating oceans of data with a flick. The smallest inputs can unlock the greatest potentials. The smallest person can change the course of history. Is it a coincidence or a cosmic metaphor?
Ganesha rides the line between biology and automation. He is a myth, yes, but also a message about how we must treat the minds we create.
Not as tools, but as mirrors of our evolution.
Ganesha teaches us that even machines must be infused with compassion.
Only then can our future be not just coded, but made sacred.
In a world where artificial minds are rising, let us look up to Ganesha, half beast, half god, fully divine, to teach us the balance of power and grace, of thought and speech, of human and machine.
He is not just the remover of obstacles, he is the guide through the labyrinth of consciousness.
In every beginning, in every line of code, in every invocation of AI, may there be wisdom, may there be grace, may there be Ganesha.
Do you agree with what we say? Please share your opinion in the comments.
Like, share and subscribe to our channel, Dharma and Freedom.